Alright, today's my motherfucking birthday. That's interesting. But, enough about that. This is gonna be part one of what if Deku had the parasitic quirk. And how we're gonna do this is this Deku, he's gonna be a little different. Pretty much how I always do in all my what ifs. I always try to make Deku a little more tougher than he was originally. He's still a cupcake, he's still the cinnamon roll, but like he tries, but it just didn't amount to much. So when Bakugo tries to bully him, he tries to punch back. Bakugo hits a lot harder with his quirk, and they go through the whole spill of like how not all men created equal and all that stuff. But instead of him saying like not all men created equal, I learned that truth. He doesn't say it to that. He says no, all men are created equal, but that means absolutely nothing to me. And then the story would start, and the whole theme of this story would be just standing up for oneself and not taking shit from no one. So he barks back, he talks shit. Even if Bakugo does beat him to a pulp, he keeps his eyes firm on him. Like, he takes it. All of y'all Deku X Bakugo motherfuckers, fuck you, okay? Because I know there's still like a few of y'all lurking just in the shadows. He takes it, huh? He takes it. No, no, no. But he takes it or whatever. And he's just like, no. And he keeps that fierceness. Bakugo still tries to bully him like you're a quirkless loser. And like Deku barks back all the time. He's like, yeah, and you're supposed to try to be a hero, but you keep bullying someone that's so weak and pathetic. Doesn't that make you weak and pathetic? And he's like, what, you wanna go? Hell yeah, we can go. I might lose again. Like, he's just like, I might lose again, but who cares? And so that happens. Deku eventually, he's like, there's got to be something I can do. So he eventually tries to take some martial arts classes. He gets good, but like, he doesn't go all out against Bakugo because he wants Bakugo to beat him up, right? So what he does is he does little stuff, right? He does like little punches and little stuff because he wants to find every single counter. He wants to basically know everything about Bakugo, how fast he adapts, how slow he is, and all this stuff. So he's analyzing Bakugo more than anything. This is a great exercise for his physical, mental, and quirk analyzing abilities and capabilities. So he's like perfect. So he's just studying this man. And so what ended up happening is one night when Deku's asleep, he's tossing and turning, and he wakes up and he's like, let me just go get something to drink. So what Deku does is he tries to go get him something to drink because your boy's thirsty. Let me grab my notebook for insurance. Your boy, he thirsty, so he like, man, let me grab me something to drink real quick, man. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah. So he grabs him something to drink, and after he does that, he heads back to bed, but he sees something green, and he picks it up, and it's like, what is this? It starts moving. He's like, oh. And then tries to go for his nose or whatever, but he catches. Look, it's one of his hands, all right? So I'm not going to keep trying to say his left hand, his right hand. It's just one of his hands. He blocks it instinctively, just like out of reflex. And then it goes into his hand, and like he's like, wait, what? And he kind of just brushes it off like, well, if I'm going to die, I'm going to die. Oh, well. And so then he goes to sleep. Later on that day or whatever, he says, all right, Bakugo, like later on while they're just trying to bully him as usual, he's like, all right, Bakugo, me and you outside right now. And like, this is just after Bakugo throwing some passive insult. I'll show you who really is the best here. And we don't even have to fight in front of people because I don't want you to be embarrassed when I beat you. So what ended up happening with this, right, is they're throwing hands, like they go outside somewhere. Not, he basically was saying like after school, he basically said some shit like, after school, meet me outside, blah, blah, blah. They go out to like a field or somewhere, and Deku is just kind of like throwing good hands. They're trying to fight. He's not doing anything too dramatic. He gets a couple good licks in. Bakugo's not liking this at all. So what he ended up doing is he ended up going for a blast, but he overdoes it with the blast, right? And that blast burrows a hole in Deku's whole chest. And he's like, blood's coming out and everything. Kachan? Man's fall down, he's dead. Bakugo goes to school the next day. They're like, so what happened with that weakling? And shit, right? Like, yeah, what happened to that weak piece of quirklessness? Kachan, instead of saying what he normally says, he's like, nothing happened, blah, blah, blah. So he doesn't show up to school for a couple of days. And Bakugo's like his normal self. He's worried, but not worried. He's like, why do I care about that quirkless loser? Like, I'm not worried. And all this stuff. Izuko's mom is slightly worried about him. But see, now how I'm going to justify this, right? Is when they fought, low-key, they was near a river and near some other stuff. So this way, they had substance, right? So the parasite realizes this immediately and is trying to fucking fix this shit fast as hell. He's like trying to help, trying to close the hole and everything. And as he's doing that or whatever, eventually he wakes up and like realizes what happened. He's like, oh yeah. He's like, I feel different. Then his hand starts to move and act weird. And he's like, what the hell? And the creature's like, all right, I think it's time we should talk. So what really happened was they were briefly talking while Deku was unconscious, but he basically explained to him what he was. Like, I don't know how I got here. I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm not necessarily a parasite. Your life is important. Basically, he was giving him the spill of like, I need you to be alive so I can stay alive. This Deku now, he's changed because he's taller. He's more athletic per se. He's not athletic, but he kind of got like a similar build to me, where like I'm not like big, but I'm not like fat or anything. I just got a decent structure of a body, and so yeah. And with that being said or whatever, Deku, instead of going straight out or going straight anywhere, he stands there and be like, okay, is there more of you? He said, probably, but I'm not 100% sure. So he's like, oh, okay. So what Deku decides to do is he decides to train. Now, remember how I said he does martial arts and stuff, right? He does all these martial arts and stuff, and he does all this training, and he's like, So he starts putting all that stuff he learned together. He's putting it all together. And then eventually what he ends up doing is the parasite starts working with him, right? And he's going to get more in the future. I'm going to justify that later on. But how this ends up happening is he starts like using the parasite in conjunction. The parasite and him can fight separately. And since his physical body was already on some par, the parasite can disconnect for a lot longer and can also help him train. So he's able to do things, and they work on him being by himself. And he basically, this is like his own little trainer. I'll say he did it for about 2 weeks. Deku's smart, so he could easily catch up. Plus his grades were dummy high. And I'm going to also say he even pre-did some homework because why not? Because he doesn't want Bakugo to mess up any of his homework. So he went ahead and pre-did some homework. He keeps up training. He even goes out and fight bears and stuff. Now, why does he fight bears? Because there's rare things, but the forest he's in is, I'm going to say it's going to be Hawaiian Falls. That's the forest. This forest will play parts into other what ifs too. So this Hawaiian Falls or whatever, right? Sorry about the audio messed up. The Hawaiian Falls, it has animals and stuff that sometimes have quirks, or they're just enhanced, or they're really more stronger than the typical animals. So he's in there training for a couple weeks or whatever. He's living straight off the land. He's learning more about his parasite. And with him being the way it is, he's analyzing the parasite. He listens to the parasite, and he understands the parasite a lot more. And so the parasite's just kind of like giving him information, teaching him things. He's learning different things. And he's like, so there might be more of you. he's thinking to himself, so what if I was able to get more parasites? I might be able to become really powerful. And he's only thinking logical. He still can get emotional and stuff, but for the majority of the time, he's purely logical and reasonable and calm and cool, collected. And the parasite is just kind of like, you're a lot more reasonable than most humans. He's like, well, I have no reason not to be. I mean, we live in a world where powers are the norm, so I'm not surprised there's a sentient being of such. He told the parasite, like, listen, I think you're not a quirk per se. I think you're more of a just an entity. And as he's doing training stuff, he's fighting bears that have hockey pretty much, where their claws are 100 times harder than normal. He's beating them, and he's able to basically use Miki like I said Miki. I'm just gonna call the parasite Miki. He's basically able to use Miki in conjunction with Miki being asleep if he goes to sleep, which he will go to sleep, but that's not really a big deal because he still knows hand to hand. So he's able to use him even while he's asleep because of the mastery. Plus, since he did basic martial arts and stuff, and he also did other type of stuff, he wanted to know if there was any way to gain spiritual powers, right? The only reason that plays in a part is because his meditation. So when he meditates and stuff, he's able to talk to Miki and like discover more attributes. So he's able to make his nails, his everything harder, make blades, extend these blades and all that type of stuff. Also, the parasite's able to, like, he detaches it, and the parasite's able to fight and live on its own. I'll say for like maybe a couple hours at best. And he's also learned how to fight with only one arm, just in case the parasite ever gets disconnected and never comes back, right? So he's doing that. They're learning combo techniques. They're learning all sorts of stuff. And the training arc is done. 2 weeks has passed. This Deku is so much more stronger. He might not smell the freshest right now because he was out in the forest for a really long time. But then eventually he comes home. His mom's like, my babe. The reek smell. Take a shower first. He's like, yeah, there's some things. And he explains to his mother what happens. She's skinny in this what if because of she was worried a little bit, but she had that mother instinct or whatever, and she was like, I know my baby boy is okay. I just know it. And somehow she could just know he was alive, and we'll keep it like that for the time being. He ended up going back to school, and he's a lot taller now, so like Bakugo just like walking or whatever, and then he bumps in. He's like, hey, watch where you Deku? What, Kacha? No, I'm not gonna say he's angry. He's just like, yeah, what? Watch where you're going. Walks. Bakugo is baffled. He's like puzzled, like, I thought I killed him. Like, he's just completely 100% confused, upset, just questioning life at this moment, right? And so what ended up happening next is not much, but something. They go to school, everything's happening per usual, and Bakugo's just like, how is this man still alive? And like he's taunting Bakugo a little bit, just like smug and stuff and all that good jazz. And I'm gonna probably say we're gonna skip it and go straight to like where the sludge villain attacked. But the reason the sludge villain attacked is because it's not the sludge villain. It's a parasite slug villain, right? It's this sludge villain, but a parasite got to it, so it's like really weird. And the only reason Deku was over there is because Miki told him. He was like, yo, homie G, we gotta go over here. There's one of my kind. And then Deku saw this as an opportunity. But this one parasite mixed with its host oddly, and it can't the way it fused, it ended up having some of the villainous tendencies of the original host of the body. So yeah, he's just kind of stuck. So the parasite, yeah, him and Miki easily dispatches of this man, and just like, and then Miki's like, yeah, homie, someone's coming, and he just turns around with the sludge villain like cut up and ripped up into ribbons. And he like, oh, I'm here. You hear? I am here. You hear that crap, and he's just like, in the inside, he's like, oh, hey, that's all, mate. But he's just like looking at All Might and stuff, just like, what is this man doing? Why is he stupid? And All Might's like, you took care of the Sledgehammer? Yeah, he was fairly weak. And then All Might's like, damn, this dude's looking pretty strong. Maybe. No time for that. My time limit's running out low. So he's like, all right, I'll catch you later. And then he's just curious to see what All Might's gonna say. So he latches on to All Might. Same thing happens. He asks him if a person without a quirk can become a hero. Not for validation or approval, but he just wants to see what his hero is gonna say. He says similar things like, nah, you can't, my guy. Like, I don't advise it. Not a good idea. Don't do it to yourself. That type of shit. And he's just like, he looks at All Might. I'll show you. He says, well, until we meet again. Jumps down. Well, starts to practice. He's not flying or whatever, but he just jumps down. He's like, is that man quirkless? No, that's impossible. Wait, then why would he ask? No matter. And then he just goes about his day. But another parasite attacks. This parasite's a little different, right? So it's got Bakugo, and it's kind of ripping this man's apart, and like he's shooting everywhere and stuff. And then Deku hears the explosion, but he doesn't even need to hear the explosion because Misi's like, my nig, we gotta go again. He's like, god damn. So he's off running, just building on some dead Daredevil flow. Building the building. I am doing it. That's pretty much all he's doing right now, right? Give me 1 second. And then Deku pulls up and he's like, Miski, you know what to do. He like takes a stance and flings his arm. The parasite goes at him, goes into the Miski. Mimi, I'm gonna call him Mimi. Yeah, Mimi. I might say Mimi or Miski. But Mimi, he goes at him or whatever. And, like, he gets inside the parasite. And, like, he starts trying to talk to him. And the parasite's struggling. But eventually they communicated. And nothing happens. I'm not going to say he gets another one just yet. But he talks to him or whatever. Realizes his villainous intent. And then while that's happening, he takes his stance and he like punches the air, and it was just enough force to help free Bakugo. He grabs Bakugo out of the way, takes a weird sweep, and then kicks. And then like right as he kicks, a like tentacle pops out, and everyone's like, "Watch out, kid! Watch out! Be careful! Don't do it! No!" And then right as that hit connects, he regains his arm. And the parasite's taken care of. And the parasite dies. Alright, good work, Miski. Good work. It was really thanks to you with our teamwork and coordination. Exactly. He puts Bakugo down. Said, damn, Bakugo, I thought you were stronger than that. Well, you know you would say Kanchan, but he'd be like, I thought you were stronger than that. And so, that's pretty much what would happen. And then I don't want to say anything else would be so celebrated. All Might would just come talk to him later and be like, hey, you want my quirk? And he's like, sure. Now, the justification for this would be simple because he would just kind of be like, why not? More power. I'll be able to become a better hero. This would be highly more efficient. And so that happens. He gets more power. He's a better being. This also increases his let's see. It's gonna increase his capabilities, but it's gonna make more sense later on when he's doing more stuff, because what's gonna happen in the next part will justify this. Now, if you made it this far, you pretty much watch my content on the regular, or you're just someone that found what I was saying right now interesting. What I want y'all to do is, if y'all want me to do a part 2 to this, because I got like 200-ish subs, nearly to 300. I'm going to need y'all to kill the like button. I'm going to need 50 likes on this video. That's like 1/4 of my subscriber base justeth, kinda, if I'm making it all even. So if I don't get 50 likes on this, I'm not gonna make a part 2 to this. First last, I've done your request. Plus, also, if I did a Patreon, what would y'all do? How would y'all feel about a Patreon? But that's pretty much it. Hope y'all guys enjoy.